a remake of The Sad Story of Henry from the Railway series. Brought to you by Thomas and Friends Productions, YouTube and Friends Studios. Once an engine attached to a train was afraid of a few drops of rain. It went into a tunnel and screeched to its funnel and never came out again. The engine's name was Henry. His driver and fireman argued with him, but he would not move. "The rain will spoil my lovely green paint and red stripes," he said. The guard blew his whistle till he had no more breath, and waved his flags until his arms ached. But Henry stayed in the tunnel and blew steam at him. "I am not going to spoil my lovely green paint and red stripes for you," he said rudely. The passengers came and argued too, but Henry would not move. A fat director who was on the train told the guard to get a rope. "We will pull you out," he said. But Henry only blew steam at him and made him wet. He hooked the rope and all pulled except the fat director. "My doctor has forbidden me to pull," he said. They pulled and pulled and pulled, but Henry stayed in the tunnel. Then they tried pushing from the other end. The fat director said, 1, 2, 3, push! But it didn't help. "My doctor has forbidden me to push." They pushed and pushed and pushed, but Henry stayed in the tunnel. At last, another train came. The guard waved his red flag and stopped it. The 2 engine drivers and the 2 firemen and the 2 guards went and argued at Henry. "Look, it has stopped raining," they said. "Yes, but it will begin again soon," said Henry. "And what will become of my green paint with red stripes then?" So they brought the other engine up, and it pushed and puffed and pushed and puffed as hard as it ever could. But Henry stayed in the tunnel. So they just gave up. They told Henry, "We shall now leave you there for always and always and always." They took up old rails and built a wall in front of him and cut out a new tunnel. Now Henry can't get out and watches the trains rushing through the new tunnel. He is very sad because no one ever will see his lovely green paint with red stripes again. I think he deserved it, don't you? The continuation. A remake and continuation of the Railway series, Edward, Gordon, and Henry, and a continuation of The Sad Story of Henry. Edward and Gordon often went through the tunnel where Henry was shut up. Edward would say, "Hello, peep, peep," and Gordon would say, "Poop, poop, poop, serves you right." Poor Henry had no steam to answer. His fire had gone out, and soot and dirt from the tunnel roof had spoiled his lovely green paint and red stripes anyway. He was cold and unhappy, and he wanted to come out and pull trains too. Gordon always pulled the express. He was proud being the only engine strong enough to do it. There were many heavy coaches and full of important people like the fat director who had punished Henry. Gordon was seeing how fast he could go. "Hurry, hurry, hurry," he panted. "Trickety-trot, trickety-trot, trickety-trot," said the coaches. Gordon could see Henry's tunnel in front. In a minute, he thought, "I'll poop-poop at Henry and rush through and out and into the open again." The closer and closer he came, he was almost there when, crack! Whoosh! He was in a cloud of steam and was going slower and slower. His driver had stopped the train. "What happened to me?" asked Gordon. "I feel so weak." "You've burst your safety valve," said the driver. "You can't pull the train anymore." "Oh, dear," said Gordon. "And we were going so nicely, too. Look at Henry laughing at me." Gordon made a face at Henry and blew steam at him. Everybody got out and came to see Gordon. Said the fat director. I never liked these big engines, always going wrong. Send for another engine at once. While the guard went to find one, they uncoupled Gordon and ran him on a siding out of the way. The only engine left in the shed was Edward. I'll come and try, he said. Gordon saw him coming. That's no use, he said. Edward can't pull the train. Edward puffed and pulled and pulled and puffed, but he couldn't make the heavy coaches move the heavy coaches. I told you so, said Gordon rudely. Why not Henry tried? Yes, said the fat director, I will. Will you help pull this train, Henry? He asked. Yes, said Henry at once. So Gordon's driver and fireman lit his fire, and some plate layers broke out the wall and put back the rails. And when they had enough steam up, Henry puffed out. He was dirty, and his boiler was black, and he was covered with cobwebs. Oh, I'm so stiff. Oh, I'm so stiff, he groaned. You'd better have a run to ease your joints, and find a turntable, said the fat director kindly. Henry came back feeling much better, and they put him in front. Peep, peep, said Edward. I'm ready. Peep, 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 said Henry. So am I. Pull hard, puffed Edward. We will do it, we will do it, puffed Henry. Pull hard, we will do it, pull hard, we will do it, pull hard, we will do it. They puffed together. The heavy coaches jerked and began to move. Slowly at first, then faster and faster. We've done it together, we've done it together, we've done it together, said Edward and Henry. You've done it, hurrah! You've done it, hurrah! You've done it, hurrah! Sang the coaches. And the passengers were excited. The fat director leaned out the window to wave to Edward and Henry, but the train was going so fast that it blew his hat off into a field where Goat ate it for tea. They never stopped till they came to the big station at the end of the line. The passengers all got out and said, "Thank you," and the fat director promised Henry a new coat of paint. Would you like blue and red? Yes, sir. Please, sir, said Henry. Then it'll be like Edward. Edward and Henry quick went home, and on their way helped Gordon back to the shed. All three engines were now great friends. Wasn't Henry pleased that he now had a new coat of paint? He was very proud of it, as all the good engines are. He doesn't mind the rain now, because he knows that the best way to keep paint nice is not to run into tunnels, but ask for his driver to rub him down when the day's work is over.